Welcome to the Existential Empath Podcast. My name is Tanya, and I am an intuitive empath. My intention is to share valuable tools and techniques that I have learned so you can tap into your own inner healer naturally and intuitively. Today, I want to talk about energy attachments, otherwise known as entity attachments. I've had a few things come up in my reality recently that I thought this might be a good, valuable topic to discuss from my point of view as to what is actually happening when people are struggling with energy attachments, entity attachments, possessions, psychic attacks along those types of lines. And so I am on a group here. We actually go out and research areas and locations, and we recognize that there is a lot of energies that get attached to the land. And I had a couple of my team members go out recently without me, and they had found some tree structures on an area near Hoodoo Mountain, which is here in North Idaho. And there's a lot of um, energy around this mountain that goes back for a very long time. And so they had actually gone out and they had gotten up under a tree structure and took some photos. And within 24 hours, both of them were not feeling well. One of them was actually feeling extremely sick, and she was presenting with symptoms of severe vomiting, severe headache, disoriented, dizziness, and just kind of double vision. And so at first we thought, okay, maybe this is something physical. But as we started to dive a little bit deeper, we realized it was more energetic. And so I had actually sent her a clear out script to read, and she said that she felt significantly better after she did that. So this is kind of guiding me to share some of this information with each and every one of you, because you as empaths may be picking up the energies of those around you. You could be picking up the energies of the land. You could be transmuting that. So basically, you're just sifting or shifting that energy inside of your physical vessel of whatever area, person, location, object you may be finding yourself coming across. And so I thought I would talk about this. So when I look at entities, demons, ghosts, whatever it may be, I look at it all as just energy. So it's either a light energy or a dense, heavier energy. And so these energies are created based off of emotions and thought forms. And when there's a highly charged emotion and a thought form, it actually can manifest into a physical entity or energy. And so when I'm working on people's land, or I'm going about just the land in general and clearing, I'm actually raising the frequency of that land, or of that home, or of that person, whatever it may be, of that object, because there is something that is connected or attached. And oftentimes it can be really, really emotionally charged. And so, and it's all just a frequency. It's all just a vibration. And so when there is an object, so I just recently watched a show about Robert the doll, and he is in Key West, Florida, and there has been a lot of concerns around him and the energy attached. They actually had a psychic go in and read the energy of Robert the doll. And so there have been so many thought forms and emotions that have been created in a lower frequency around this doll that it has actually manifested into a physical energy. And so when we're working with earthbound spirits, or spirits on the other side of the veil, so to speak, they can attach to certain people, objects, homes, land, because there is an energy frequency there. And oftentimes, 9 times out of 10, these energies just want to be heard. They want their story shared so that they can be released to the light. And this has been something that I have been kind of being trained on, I guess, working in the hospital, working around death and loss. I was constantly around people in tragic situations who have died. I had been around the families. I was in a hospital. Hospitals are highly charged with
thought forms and emotions, which can manifest into shadow beings. It can manifest into apparitions, ghosts, anything along those lines that we can actually see. And what we are, physically seeing is the manifestation, the physical manifestation of that thought form or that emotion that was charged based off of the situation or experience that person or that land or that location, that home had actually gone through. And so when we're looking at things that are paranormal, it's really much more. Uh, advanced, I guess, to take a look at it from an energetic standpoint versus a fearful, oh no, this is an entity standpoint. So when we look at things from energy, it just kind of separates us or detaches us from the emotion behind it. So if you can kind of sense denser energies would be fear, hatred, bitterness, resentment, along those lines. And then you've got your lighter energies, which would be joy, love, peace, happiness, enlightenment, those types of energies. So we aren't really looking at them as good or bad or evil or blessed. We're kind of looking at them more as an energetic standpoint, looking at them from a light versus dark standpoint, not meaning that one is bad or good. And so when we have things that are charged up, like say like Amityville, there's or even Robert the Doll, or any of these things, really what took place is that there was an extremely highly charged energy behind that with an intention set. So it could have been a curse on the land that someone was really angry and they focused their thoughts and their energy behind it, and they actually created an energy there. So I watch Skinwalker Ranch, I watch a lot of these things, and a lot of it is just me learning to discern the different types of energies. And I think there's a lot more going on at the ranch when it comes to earth elements as well. But there's also a very predominant intention that some of the natives had set there because they were cursing the land. And so when you are cursing something, you're basically just focusing your thoughts and your emotions towards something, very similar to manifesting. So when we are looking at the law of attraction and you are really centering your thoughts and your emotions on something to create something in your life, it's very similar to when you're setting a curse. And so when you're focusing that energy on something, it can go in either direction. And so when we are looking at energy attachments upon ourselves, whether we are in a haunted home or we are on sacred land, or for my team, for example, they went under a tree structure and there could have been some Indian burial grounds there as well. And so these are areas that have had highly charged thought and emotional forms manifest into these areas. And so when you're going in there to do that, you want to make sure that your frequency is cleared and cleansed, and that you are maintaining your frequency. So oftentimes when we are going into these locations to do paranormal research or whatever it may be, oftentimes we could be holding a frequency of fear or doubt or shame or guilt, and the energies are going to feed off of that because that's where they are resonating at that frequency. So whatever frequency you are at, you will attract it, you will attach it to you. So if you have a lot of trauma in your field and you're going about paranormal hunting, and or you have bought a home and there's a lot of energies, heavier energies within the home, it will naturally attach to you because number one, if you're empathic, you're like a sponge, and number two, if you're holding a lot of denser energies, then they are feeding off of that, almost like a parasite would. So if you're looking at it from an energetic standpoint, it's really in our best interest to clear those denser, heavier energies. If we're holding on to trauma and whatnot, it will actually make it a lot easier for you to move through these areas. And I do recognize this sometimes with people where they're highly affected and I'm not. But I've also been doing a significant amount of work to move through my traumas and my heavier, denser emotions, any toxic relationships I may have had in the past. And I am moving through that. And oftentimes I am calling in those higher vibrational frequencies to surround me. And so, if we can really have a deeper understanding to just the concept of energy in itself, it makes it a lot easier for us to not attach to those fear-based programs and, those energy, spirits, paranormal, whatever you want to call it, entities, demons. Then we can actually command our power back into our body. And oftentimes when they're attaching, it's because we have disconnected from our bodies and we are not standing firmly in our own energy with that conviction, and that we are not commanding them out of our field. And so oftentimes it's really beneficial to visualize a healing energy of light around you when you are going into these situations. And for example, I one of my gifts that I am extremely powerful in is psychometry. So psychometry is when you can actually hold or touch an object or a person and read information from them. And ever since I was a child, I had this gift. I didn't even really know what it was, but I would go to slumber parties at friends' houses, and I would have energy speaking to me. I couldn't sleep in people's beds because I could pick up on what was going on in the home, or I couldn't touch personal objects. I couldn't go into thrift shops. It just was overwhelming to me. It was like sensory overload. And I didn't really recognize this until later on when I started to learn more about my gifts, that this was a very powerful gift of mine. And so oftentimes when you are staying in a hotel room or you're staying at someone's home, the bed, the mattress holds a significant amount of energy in it, because what do? We spend up to, anywhere up to 8 to 12 hours, I mean, depending on how much you sleep, in your bed, and you are processing things before you go to bed. You have a lot of overthinking that can take place when you're in your bed, and also in the dream state. You are bringing a lot of thought and emotions into your energy field. And so when someone is sleeping in someone else's bed, and when you look at an Airbnb or a hotel room, the bed is the number one place where most people will have energy attachments, come to them, because the bed is holding on to a lot of energy. And so I always highly suggest to cleanse the room before you sleep in it. And you can even do that from a distance. It's kind of like Reiki. You can actually send high frequency energy to the place that you're going to stay to cleanse it before you actually arrive. Or you can physically cleanse it if you want to cleanse it like the natives do with sage, or you can bless it. You can put crystals, selenite, under the bed or under the pillow. You can cleanse it. So there's a variety of ways. And like I said, it's all thought and emotion. So really, it's your belief system and how you feel about that. What is the best way for you to cleanse? Do you want to physically cleanse with sage, or even essential oils? You can use those as well. Or would you prefer to just send healing energy and visualize that, in that space? So it's really up to you how you want to do that. But with that said, it's all energy. It's all energy, and how we utilize that energy and how we can clear our field, just simply based off of our intention and our emotion behind that. And so, I wanted to provide you with a beautiful energy protection around each and every one of you. And so I love the book for those of you who are into this kind of stuff. I love the book. It's called Archangel's Magic, and it's really powerful. It's something that I have began to really practice some of the things in here, and it breaks it down into each of the archangels and different types of kind of sayings that you can say to protect you or to bring abundance into your life or to do different things. And so there's the power of the sigils. And oftentimes, many people will look at a sigil as a negative thing because they kind of associate it with witchcraft. But really, a sigil is anything. It could be the cross, that many see amongst our religions. It really could be anything, and it's basically just some sort of a picture or a drawing or a symbol that has energy behind it, has an intention and an emotional charge behind that. And so when you are working with that, it can really bring about powerful things in your life. And so you can utilize it to manifest things. You can utilize it to bring things into your life. And so I wanted to do one specifically for Archangel Michael because Michael is the protector. He's the archangel of protection. And he can really bring in some powerful energy. And I've utilized him many times in my sessions. I bring them in, but oftentimes I'm guided to bring certain archangels in to my sessions because they immediately raise the frequency and you can feel it. It's almost palpable when they come in. It's like the goosebumps come in the back of my head, just all the hairs stand up and I can just feel it. Sometimes I'll cry, my eyes will water. I'll recognize my client will have a massive shift, in their energy. And so Michael is one to call upon if you want to be shielded or you want to be protected, or maybe you want to remove some curses that you feel are on you, those thought and emotional forms of energy. You can create a barrier around you against negative energy. And so I wanted to just kind of speak this out because this is one of the sigil energies within the Archangel's Magic book that I have here. And I thought that I would send this out. So this is like a prayer, or this is something that will provide you with protection. And so I thought by doing this with Archangel Michael, it's good because we're talking about energies and entities, and this will allow you to raise your frequency. And so I want to speak this, and then I also want to do a clear out script for each and every one of you and bring in some light language as well. So if some of you are feeling like you may have some energy attachments, then my intention is that this will clear them. This will move them out of your system to allow you to open yourself up to receive more higher vibrational frequency within your energetic field. And so when I first started doing this, like I said, I was working in the hospital and I was just carrying all of this energy from all of the people around me, the space within the hospital, and all of the fear, all of the pain, all of the shock, everything that one would experience when they go into a hospital. I, as an empath, was carrying it with me and it was causing me a lot of physical pain. But once I started reading this clear out script and doing it daily, I was doing it before I went into the hospital. And when I left, I started to notice I wasn't carrying the pain anymore because I was not allowing the frequency to affect me. I was not allowing those lower vibrational energies to attach to me because I was raising my frequency. Okay, so I'm going to start off here with the Michael Sigil of Power, is what it's called. And like I said, I'm getting this from the Archangel's Magic book. And I'm going to read this first, and then I'm going to move into the clear out script and the light language. So I'd like for you to all find a comfortable space to sit, to relax, to lay back. Please don't be driving when I read this. I actually had a local friend here tell me she listened to one of my light languages while she was driving and she kind of felt really looped out. So I would really suggest that you not drive, that you not be, operating heavy machinery or anything along those lines, to just really sit down and relax and allow these energies to move through you. And as always, it is my intention to bring the highest vibrational frequency into your energetic field with love and light. And I call upon that throughout your complete divinity. Okay, so here we go. Take a deep breath in. And breathe out. One more. Breathe out. Od ir om tarrak ili I a o e pa ka ke yel aga ke gadiel adriel shakud harzi ar misharel misharel misharel. I command all negative emotions, hidden emotions, negative thought patterns, entities, hidden entities, sabotaging spirits, distortions, unnatural implants, vain and toxic particles, hooks and cords from all of my energy centers, all layers of my aura, my conscious and my subconscious, and I command them to never return. In the name of Jesus Christ, I call in the Christ consciousness now. Horhiriakatai sharatakani yaratakato shkorotokoshkiete. Ne ki yaratakatai ananai shatoko horiakahai jiatakati yarata. Ne kiriatakahai ki yaratakashieranene. Hakai hanai jatakatahai yorotoko hikiana. I command all residue and energy associated to leave me now. Goshkoriana haishira tekiria takatai, heine jira takatahara takato, shkoriana na haikiana. I completely heal and zip up my aura, and I clear all physical, mental, emotional, energetic, and spiritual levels and layers of my being. And I clear all of these throughout each stage of my life, throughout present lives, past lives, parallel lives, and future lives. I call my spirit and my power back into my body 100%, and I raise my personal frequency to the most effective and optimal level of functioning and happiness now. And I call in the healing light of the divine, of the God, of the source energy, and I command it to surround me now. I raise my frequency out of any lower dense energies, and I align and I attune myself with the divinity of light and of the higher consciousness of Christ. Koshkiana hai, jeta haiti, kariata hanai, horotokoshkorianai, horotokoni hai, kokoyata, shikianai. I receive this, and so it is. Take a deep breath in and a hard breath out. One more time, a deep breath in and a hard breath out. How does it feel to be in your own energy now? Did you recognize or notice any movement within your energy field? Did you feel things physically? Did you see any thought forms? Did you feel any emotions arise? How do you feel after that? How do you feel after that cleansing? If you felt significant shifts, then obviously there was something that was attached to you, some energy attachments of a denser, lower frequency. I almost felt kind of a crying almost kind of came over me, like this bubbling came up from below my root chakra and up through my body, and it almost felt like I wanted to release tears. So that's kind of where I felt when I read that. And so definitely share your experiences if you felt something along, during that particular reading or light language or clearing. So, like always, I send each and every one of you beautiful energy, beautiful love and light. And I look forward to sharing more of what I'm learning in this beautiful journey we call life soon. Take care.
You deserve to navigate your life as an empath in alignment with health, happiness, and abundance. To learn more about the services that I provide, including Beyond Quantum Healing Hypnosis, EFT Tapping, and the Emotion Code, visit my website at www.thesoulcafe.org.